And I thought he broke his nose or something happened. I'm going to kill myself. That's how I'm going to stop it. And I know that better than anybody, because my younger brother Mark did that. But I ran to the corner and told him to throw the towel in. Most dramatic moment in boxing. And I said he'd knock him out, this one, because I know he's got his number.
So obviously we're here for the Fury Usyk presser. Fury is saying already in interviews that he has to knock Usyk out to win. Do you agree with him?
I think he could win it on points. He felt that he won the fight last time on points. I felt he won the fight. Tyson's just got to do what he does. He knows what he has to do to win this fight. He's got the tools to win it. He's got to do better than he did last time, in as much that we don't want the showboating. He's focused and just go out there and do a job that he's capable of doing.
It's nice to hear you say about the showboating. Obviously, he had Usyk hurt.
Yeah, that seventh, he hurt him a couple of times, but that seventh round, end of that seventh round, when Usyk went back to the corner, and he was a bit wobbly going back, I thought Tyson was going to do it in the next round, as did a lot of people who were sitting in the area we were in. He came out and he caught Tyson with that shot, caught him on the tip of the nose, and Tyson kept pouring and touching. And I thought he broke his nose or something happened, and he just lost his little bit of focus in that round. And then obviously the next round, the ninth round, was a bit of a disaster area. But Tyson showed what it's all about. He gritted his teeth, and Usyk couldn't finish off the job in the next round, in the 10th round, or the 11th. And Tyson certainly won the 12th round, certainly on all the judges' cards. That's one thing they all did agree on. And they put the best heavyweight fight on of the 21st century. It was an unbelievably great fight between two talented boxers, both undefeated at the time. And not that I was happy about it, but we finally got a unified champion in Usyk.
Tyson's recovery powers are incredible. I've never seen someone get hurt like that and come back, even in the Wilder fight.
Well, yeah, but I hate that. I hate seeing it. Can't afford to do that. And things like that catch up with you sometimes. And they both knew they were in a fight afterwards. I obviously went back to the dressing room with Tyson, who was quite lively. He thought that he'd won the fight, like I felt it. He was quite animated, like, I should have got that, and whatever. But he was philosophical, and I went back to see Alexandra to congratulate him in his dressing room. You knew he'd been in a fight. He was sitting there, and he was pleased he won. Don't get me wrong, but he knew he'd been in a tough fight. So it's going to be interesting to see, as I say, on the 21st, what they've learned from it.
Have you spoke to Tyson recently? How's he doing? How's camp going?
Well, he goes in. He's been ticking over. I spoke to him a couple of days ago. I'll speak to him again today. And he's going into camp tomorrow. He flies out tomorrow and he gets down to the serious stuff, with the sparring and so forth. And it's not an excuse. He had problems with his sparring last time because he sustained that cut. When the fight got postponed. So this time round, touch wood, there'll be no, it'll be a good camp.
So just to rewind it a bit, how did you end up signing Tyson?
The first time I did a deal with him before his fight with Klitschko, if you look at his record, he had pretty erratic fights. What I mean by that, the distance and the gaps in between the fights. And I said to him, I want to do a deal with you. I met with him at St Pancras Station. It was over the Christmas period. Derek Chisora was coming off of about 5 or 6 really good wins against top-class opposition. I said, we'll give you a couple of warm-up fights and then make the fight with Derek, which I know I can get that for a final eliminator for the world title to fight Klitschko. And he fought Derek, and I thought Derek was going to beat him. And going into that fight, as I say, he was the form fighter. But Derek, he'd done a job on Derek. Derek never won a second of any rounds. He'd done an absolute job, so much so that I ran to the corner and told him to throw the towel in and pull him out of the fight. I remember saying to him after the fight with Derek, I said, you'll beat Klitschko. You fight like that, you'll beat him. You'll have the beating of him. And he got the result, and then we got the rematch, and then obviously he went off the rails, and that didn't happen, and it was very sad where he went after that. The boozing, messing about with stuff he shouldn't have been messing about with, suicidal, he was like on the verge of it, 11 stone overweight, he became huge, and just went off the rails. And I sort of kept in touch, I don't mean regularly, like sporadically, we spoke a few times. And we had a meeting, he said, I want to come back. And I sat with him, I looked at him and looking him in the eyes, and I could see there, and I could see for him, he needed to box. That was going to be his saviour. that was what was going to get him back on the tracks. If he hadn't boxed again, I don't know what would have happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
But the boxing was his discipline, gave him direction, and the rest was history. And it's been great. It's been a great ride, been great fun. I mean, some of the most memorable moments I've had in the sport are with Tyson Fury.
So boxing brings huge highs and massive lows.
Yeah.
What would you say has been the best high in your career and the biggest low?
I've had a bit of a roller coaster as far as highs, because I'm old. I'm an old guy, you know. So I've had the good times, the bad times, the in-betweeners. One of my most enjoyable times in boxing is with Tyson. The moment when he came back from the depths of despair where he was at. You know, when somebody's suicidal, you know, they're talking about killing themselves. They're in so much pain. How do I stop this pain? I'm going to kill myself. That's how I'm going to stop it. And I know that better than anybody, because my younger brother Mark did that. He jumped off of a building, committed suicide. So I know how, you know, how the depths of despair you must be to be in a position to do that. I think in some ways with Tyson, that's why I don't know, it's like maybe a bit of transference from my perspective. Like, you know, wanted to be with him, and you know, if I get in my way, try and help him, because maybe I should have helped my brother more. I'd get a phone call from him, like we'd be doing something right now, and the phone would ring, and, well, hang on a minute, I'm doing something, and I'll call you back. And he probably needed me that moment, but I never given that time. So you try to be there, you know, trying to, you know, hopefully with Tyson be a friend as well as, you know, being his promoter. And it was great. And the high for me was making that first fight where he was a massive underdog, where Shelley Finkel, who's a friend of mine who managed Deontay, they genuinely thought that was the time to do it, and I genuinely thought it was the time to fight him. Nobody in the camp wanted to fight, only Tyson and me. That last round of that first fight was just the most dramatic moment in boxing ever. I mean, it was like RoboCop gone, and suddenly that little spark in his eye, and he gets up. And I never expected him to get up, and he won that fight. And they gave it as a draw, but he won that fight. But that was so dramatic. But then the next fight, you know, again, Tyson was the underdog going into that, and I said he'd knock him out this one, because I know he's got his number.